where a judge has handed former President Trump a legal victory, approving the appointment of a special master to review the documents that the FBI seized from his Mar-a-Lago home. Robert Costa is in Washington with more on how this will affect the investigation.
Good morning. This is a significant new challenge for the Justice Department because its probe is ongoing, and this could slow it down. The department has long argued that a special master is unnecessary since its own team has already finished its review of evidence.
In a 24-page ruling, Judge Eileen Cannon, a Trump appointee, granted the former president's request for an outside lawyer to step in, writing that Trump faces unquantifiable potential harm if more sensitive information is made public. The independent reviewer would be directed to examine the documents obtained during last month's FBI search for any issues related to attorney-client or executive privilege.
The special master and anyone else working with the special master will have to have the appropriate security clearance. That won't just be a top secret, that will be even higher levels.
Mary McCord was a former top official in the DOJ's National Security Division.
They can't just ship them by FedEx or deliver them to the special master's office. These will only be able to be reviewed in a secured compartmentalized information facility. So this will probably involve the special master going to the department or to the FBI.
Cannon's order sets this Friday as the deadline for possible candidates to be proposed, who are acceptable to both sides. But the special master doesn't have final say on what the DOJ can and cannot use in a future criminal case.
Just because there's a special master who might say, oh, this document potentially raises executive privilege issues, does not mean that the criminal investigative team will never get to see those documents. That will just be the start of a process of, okay, is there really a privilege here? And is that privilege overcome by compelling interests?
The judge's order also bars the Justice Department from further reviewing the evidence collected until the special master's work is done. But it does allow for the continuation of the classification review and intelligence assessments being conducted by the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Over the weekend, Trump continued to claim the search was an abuse of power by the Justice Department.
The shameful raid and break-in of my home, Mar-a-Lago, was a travesty of justice.
What we are watching right now is whether the Justice Department will appeal the judge's decision. Remember, this investigation has been moving along, delving not just into documents, but into possible obstruction by Trump's team. And yesterday, the department said it is examining the opinion and will consider appropriate next steps. Vlad, Lana.
All right, Bob, thank you very much. CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Sganga is with us now to dive deeper into the judge's orders. So, Nicole, how does this order affect the DOJ's investigation?
Vlad, Lana, good to be with you. And that's the key question. It could apply some brakes on it now that the judge wrote that the Justice Department cannot continue to review the materials taken from Mar-a-Lago on August 8th or use them, for that matter, in their investigation until the review by a special master is completed. But there is a carve-out, we should note, that the judge first hinted at in the courtroom during that hearing last week. The judge ruled that the Office of the Director of National Intelligence may continue its assessment of potential risks to national security that were presented by removing these classified documents. Remember, some of them were labeled top secret. That probe can still continue. So while the Department of Justice must pause its work sorting through these documents, ODNI continues. In that sense, the judge feels that we can chew gum and walk at the same time.
Sometimes that's more difficult than you might think.
It's not easy.
Nicole, tell us more about how the judge explained the reasoning in her decision.
Yeah, Lana, Judge Eileen Cannon wrote in her order that she made her decision to ensure at least the appearance of fairness and integrity under the extraordinary circumstances presented. Now, the use of a special master, we've seen this before. It's an attorney, independent, appointed by the judge, who will review materials during the FBI search and protect documents shielded by privilege, in this case, attorney-client privilege, but the judge has also left the door open to executive privilege. So Nicole, we've seen the use of special masters before, one appointed to review presidential documents removed from the White House. Well, that's quite extraordinary. And the judge has suggested here that Mr. Trump might suffer reputational harm from the search or from a future indictment, writing that in his role as former president, quote, the stigma associated with the subject seizure is in a league of its own. Now, this decision did not come out of the blue. Cannon, who was appointed by the former president, previously expressed her preliminary intent to grant Mr. Trump's request. The hearing on this matter took place last Thursday, and her order arrived on the docket 4 days later, on Labor Day, no less.
In the filing, Nicole, the judges outline instances where investigators came across possibly privileged material. What did we learn from that section? And clearly, anybody who's going to be going over these documents is going to have that security clearance, the very highest security clearance that you can have, including anybody else who's on that team.
Yeah, and Judge Cannon, this is why she disagreed with the government's assessment that another round of screening these documents seized from Mar-a-Lago would be unnecessary. She cited these two instances in which the investigative team actually came across privileged information that was not caught by the FBI's initial review for any sort of privileged material. Now, the FBI's privileged review team already removed over 500 pages of information potentially protected by attorney-client privilege, but they missed at least two instances in their initial sort through, so investigators segregated those documents after the fact. And in court, the Department of Justice argued that this is proof the process is working. Well, the judge disagreed, writing, those instances yield questions about the adequacy of the filter review process, even if they do underscore the integrity of investigative team members. Now, the judge goes on to say that the filter review team's report does not indicate that any steps were taken to wall off the two tainted members of the investigation team, meaning those who encountered the privileged information after they saw it. And all of that contributed to the judge's decision to support and appoint a special master for another review.
Hey, Nicole, real basic question. We heard Bob say that Friday's the deadline for both sides to submit their candidates for a special master. To Vlad's point, there's only a few people that can really fit into that category. What happens if they don't agree?
Yeah, so Friday's the deadline for parties to submit this list of candidates, as well as the processes and duties of that special master. If there are disagreements here, those need to be outlined too. Ultimately, it's the judge who decides here. Now, the Department of Justice says for its part, it's also examining the opinion, so it's considering appropriate next steps. Any appeal of yesterday's ruling we should consider. That would come before a 3-judge panel in Atlanta within the United States Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit. Now, we should point out 6 of the 11 active judges there were also appointed by former President Trump.
All right. Far from being over. Nicole, thanks.
Continued.
Thank you.